Together in Munich, together with Andreas, Nicklas, and Mischa Logvinov from Lithium. Can you please introduce yourself and also tell us a little bit about Lithium?
Yeah, myself, I'm responsible for social commerce at Lithium.
Excellent. I'm the Chief Customer Officer, and I'm also responsible for our business development at Lithium.
And Lithium, what's Lithium about?
Lithium is a software company, and we're focusing on providing social customer experience solutions and working with some of the world's largest brands.
Okay, we're doing this little interview also in the aftermath of the Demexco, where I started a little bit talking about what are the future trends within the field of digital experience. Well, I talked a lot with web content management people, but also with CRM people, and I left out a little bit this field of services, customer services, and I felt that it's quite important to talk about customer service, as customer service is kind of, well, the future of the digital experience. Do you agree on this?
Yes, I agree on this. And as you can see, I mean, a lot of people are using today social channels instead of calling the call center. And I mean, we have customers where always 50% of their customers, more than 50% of their customers are using social channels instead of using the phone to call the call center for any kind of customer service issues.
Are those traditional call center or customer service responsible managers, are they already aware of this future, of this social customer care?
I think they're certainly aware or becoming aware within these organizations, because more and more, and especially with the millennial generation, you're starting to see a shift from traditional channels for people to request help or get support from the brand to these digital channels. And it's becoming a critical channel for these organizations to be able to respond, and not just respond, but respond very quickly, because in addition to people shifting their behavior from traditional channels to social, you're also starting to see a much higher demand for quick responses and quality responses. So yeah, folks who run call centers and support organizations are very much aware of that.
But traditional customer care via the call center is always a one-to-one channel. Is this different to the social customer care?
It's today it's more or less the same, because many of these call center people or customer service people, they do not really get the advantages of peer-to-peer build customer service, and this is exactly the future for customer service.
So we have to differentiate between the one-to-one and peer-to-peer social customer care, is that right?
That's correct, and typically what you see is a bit of an evolution that is happening on social. At first, brands starting to engage with their customers on social channels one-to-one in a form of a tweet response or response to a Facebook post, basically staying within the same channel when people request help. But in order to create a sustainable support environment, it's very critical that you actually also establish a crowdsourced, self-service, peer-to-peer support environment. And then you can connect the two for the best practice, kind of for the best of both worlds, where you can initially meet the customer at the channel that they want to communicate with you, but then ultimately direct them and engage with them on a more sustained self-service system that you would build typically within your own domain.
Who's doing this kind of new forms of social customer care? Are those distributed over all industries, or are there specific industries who are much more into this?
Well, there are some industries who are very heavily betting on social support, for example, like telecommunication, technology, financial services. And to come back to your earlier question, I think Deutsche Telekom is a very good proof of a customer who first used social to serve customer in a way how they did it with a call center some years ago. So people raised customer service requests by using Twitter and Facebook, for example. And now Deutsche Telekom moved over to a peer-to-peer customer service, and they are running it very successfully. They now have more than 500,000 registered users on their community, and more than 80% of the incoming customer service requests are served by other customers. And so Deutsche Telekom is a very good example of a customer who successfully moved from channel-based social support to peer-to-peer-based social support.
Lithium is a global provider for this kind of social customer care. Are there any differences globally?
I would say there are not that many differences globally when it comes to the use case itself. I think the stuff that we're doing with our brands can really be replicated all over the world, and we've seen a lot of success, of course, in Europe. I mean, Lithium is a company that initially started in California and in the Bay Area, but we've expanded dramatically all over the world, and we're also seeing it in Asia, we're seeing it in Australia, we're seeing it in Latin and South America. So I would say regionally, it's very much applicable. We've seen kind of more of a maturity, different kind of maturity within industries themselves, but it can be applied pretty much all over the world.
What are the key success factors for this kind of, for this new kind of customer service?
Yeah, first of all, it's to increase customer experience, and I think the Net Promoter Score is a very good KPI to measure that. And if you look at customers using Lithium communities, you can see that in average the Net Promoter Score is increasing by 10%. I mean, imagine that, for example, in Germany, the industry carrying the highest Net Promoter Score is 28%. It's the car manufacturing industry. And so you can imagine what it means that a company can increase their Net Promoter Score by 10% by using peer-to-peer communities for social support.
Yeah, we'll just add a couple more things to it. So one manifestation of improved customer experience, of course, will be customer loyalty. And that's one of the big priorities right now for the brands to stay competitive, to differentiate themselves from some of their competitors in the field. If they create that environment for people to basically get superior customer service, they're more likely to remain a customer and they're more likely to buy more. And also what we've seen as a significant value driver within our customer base is, of course, cost savings compared to traditional support channels. Right? Because getting self-service support through social channels, whether it's one-on-one with an agent or using one of the customer hubs and customer communities, is vastly cheaper than someone basically dialing the call center. And we have customers that are saving tens of millions of dollars a year by shifting their investments into peer support.
So we heard from you that the first maturity stage is the first stage is probably really perceiving the social channels as a customer service channel and engaging into one-to-one service at this point, and then the second stage is probably the engaging into peer-to-peer service. But what comes afterwards? What are the future trends?
Yeah, I think one of the things that you will see, and you already see, is an integration of both of those approaches. Like you may initially engage with a customer on the channel one-on-one, but then eventually you convert these people into your advocates and your evangelists on domain resources and more in the peer-to-peer environment. So I think the future that you will see over the next few years is really a native integration of external channels, public social networks, third-party websites, and brands' engagement on these channels, and on-domain peer engagement. And we're already starting to see examples of that today.
Great. Thank you for the interview.
Thanks so much. Yeah, thanks for that.